Welcome to my channel. Today I will be telling how to create customized report using PROC report.
First, let's look at the listing of a dataset called medical using PROC print. It is the basic display of data where we can see that the comment column has been moved to the next page as the width of the page was not sufficient enough to display the comment column along with the other column. Since we have mentioned the ID as the PAT number, which is the patient number, that is the reason that in the next page when the comment is being displayed, the PAT number is also being shown along with the comment.
Here is a report using the same dataset produced by PROC report. The no window option is an instruction not to enter the interactive window editor after you ran the program. Except for the column width, this report looks similar to the output from PROC print. For character variables, the column width is either the length of the character variable or the length of the formatted value if we have provided a format for this particular variable. For numeric variables, the default column width is 9 or the width of a format which is given to this variable. We will see in later examples in this video how to control the width of each column in the report. Another difference between PROC print and PROC report is that the default column header for PROC print are variable names and the default column headings for PROC report are variable labels if they exist, or variable names if a variable does not have a label. To specify which variable you need to include in the report, use a column statement. The column statement serves a similar function to the where statement of PROC print. It allows you to select the variables which you want to display in your report and the order in which they appear. In addition, you need to list variables that you create in compute block. Here we are selecting four variables, that is PAT number, DX, HR and weight, to be included in this report. Unlike PROC print, PROC report is capable of producing both detailed reports and summary reports, which is the statistics of such as sum and means. By default, PROC report produces detailed reports for a character variable and summary reports for numeric variables. However, when you include a mix of both type of variables in a single report, you obtain a detailed listing showing all observations. To help understand this somewhat complex idea, let us see what happens when you include only the numeric variables in a report. These numbers represents the sum of the heart rate and weight for all the observation in the dataset medical. You have learned two things here. First, the default usage for numeric variable is analysis, which produces a summary report. And second, the default summary statistics is sum. Learning how to control whether to produce a detailed listing of a summary report and what statistics to produce leads you to the define statement. You can use a define statement to specify the usage of each variable, use a listing for all the observation, and use analysis to create a summary report. Suppose you want a detailed listing of every person in the medical dataset instead of a summary report. You can use the following program. Several things has been added to this program. First, notice that there is now a define statement for each of the two numeric variables. Each attributes for the variables are entered as options in the define statement. Thus, they follow a slash after the variable name. The define option display is an instruction to produce a detailed listing of all the observations. Besides defining the usage as display, the define statement for HR adds a label placed in quotes and column width. Look at the output here to see the effect of these two define statements. Now you can see a detailed listing of every observation rather than a summary of statistics. For this example, you want to list the heart rate and mean weight for each clinic in medical dataset. To do this, you will need to use the group usage for the variable clinic. In addition, you will also need to specify mean as the statistics for heart rate and weight. The figure in the report shows the average height rate and average weight for each of the two clinics. One of the nice features of PROC report is its ability to wrap lines to text within a column when you have long values. To demonstrate this feature, here is a report that includes a variable called comment that is 50 characters long. Because a value this long will take most of the width of a page, you use the flow option to improve the appearance of your report. In this program, several new features has been added. The first, the flow option was added to the define statement for the comment variable. This wraps the comment field within the defined column width of 30. The split equals to option is required to tell the program that you want to split the comments between words, that is between words having blanks. Without this option, proc report would use other characters such as the slash in the dates or as possible line breaks. The option write used for the dx variable right aligns the dx values. The default alignment for character variable is left. Alignment options are left, right, and center. To demonstrate how you can nest one group with another, you can use a dataset called bicycles. This dataset contains the country where the bicycles were sold, the model of bicycle, and the manufacturer, the number of units sold, and the total sales. The goal here is to see the sum of total sales broken down by country and the model. To do this, both the country and model variables are defined with a group usage. The order of these variables in the column statement specifies that column comes first and then model is nested within country. The options headlines was added to the PROC report. This option places a line between the column header and the remainder of the report. Notice that the country comes before the model in the column statement. The value of both country and model are printed only when the values changes, thus making a more readable report. The values in the last two columns are the sums of two variables, that is the unit and total sales, which is the combination of country and model. Here is the same report except that the order of the two variables, country and model, is reversed in the column statement and the manufacturer is added. Notice that the model now comes first in the report and the country is nested within models. If you want a listed in sorting order using proc print, you must first sort the dataset with proc sort. Proc report allow you to request a report in a sorted order within the procedure itself. This is accomplished by requesting the order usage as an option in your define statement. As an example, suppose you want a listing of your sales dataset with the variable employee ID, quantity, and total scales. In addition, you also want this listing to be arranged in employee ID order. The keyword order in the defined statement for employee ID produces the result in order of ascending employee ID. This saves you the trouble of having to sort your dataset prior to requesting the report. The resulting report is displayed as here. You can see the employee ID, quantity, and the total sales being displayed. You can apply the order uses to several variables. For example, suppose you want the same report as the one we just produced, but you want to see the total sales for each variable in decreasing order of total sales. Because you want the report to show total sales for each employee in decreasing order, you precede order with the keyword descending. Remember that the order of the order variable in the report is controlled by their order in the column statement. Here you can see the report is in ascending order of employee ID and descending order of total sales. PROC report can create telephone book style multi-column reports as well. Dataset assigned contains a subject number and group variables. The values for group is ABC. Using the panels equals to option of PROC report, you can print this report with multiple columns. If you specify a large number for the number of panels, the PROC report fits as many panels as possible for a given line size. In this program, the page size, which is the PS keyword, is set to 16, which limits the number of lines per page to 16, so that you can see the effect of panel equals to option. In this program, a display usage was used for subject, which is a numeric variable. This was not necessary because the default usage for group is a character variable, is display, and you would have obtained a report, detailed report anyway. So here you can see in this report that the subject and group are being displayed in panels, which is 3 panels in this way. PROC report can produce totals and subtotals on analysis variables by using break and RBreak statements. RBreak, which stands for report break, is used to report summary statistics, typically sum or means, at the top or bottom of a report. The break statement is used to report summary statistics each time a group or a order variable changes values. Taking an example of this sales dataset, you want to see the total for quantity and total sales at the bottom of this report with double lines printed above and below the values. Following the keyword break is a location either before or after. Before places the summary statistics at the beginning of the report, after places them at the end. The option DOL and DUL request double overlines or double underlines respectively. The summarize option prints a statistics between these lines. To display summary statistics for each value of one or more group or order variables, use the break statement. For example, if you want to see the total quantity and total sales for each region in the sales dataset, use the shown following program. The break statement uses the same location keywords as the RBreak statements. With the break statement, you also need to specify one or more group or order variables that define where to print the summary statistics. The option summarize prints the appropriate summary statistics after the break, and skip prints the blank line after the summary line. In this program, a line showing the sum of quantity and total sales is printed for each change in the region value. If you don't want the summary line to contain the values of the break variables, use the suppress option. PROC report can use a variable to order the rows of a report without including the variables in the report. For example, in the dataset sales, the name variable stores name as the first name followed by the last name. Now, if you want a report showing this variable but you want to arrange the rows alphabetically by the last name, you can run the shown program. In the short data step, the scan function extracts the last name from the name variable. The second argument to the scan function tells the system which word to extract from the first argument. A negative value says to start scanning from the right. The third argument defines the word delimiter, in this case, a space. The last name variable must be listed in the column statement, even if you do not want to be included in the report. In the defined statement for last name, you need to use the no print option. This option allows the report to be sorted by the last name but removes this variable from the report. In the listing from this program, notice that the Rows of the report are ordered by the last name. One of the powerful features of PROC report is its ability to compute new variables. This makes PROC report somewhat unique among SAS procedures. With most SAS procedures, you need to run a dataset first if you want to perform any calculations. Suppose you want to report the weights of the patient in your medical dataset, but instead of reporting the weights in pounds, you want to see the weights in kilograms. This program uses a compute block to accomplish this. Notice several things about this program. The new variable WT which is the weight in kgs, and the variable used to compute is weight, are both listed in the column statement. It is important that you list weight before weight in kgs in this statement, as a computed value must follow the variables or variable used to define it. If you don't want to include the original value of weight in the report, you use the keyword noPrint in the define statement for weight. Use a usage of computed in the defined statement for your new variable. The third point to notice here is to use the compute and end compute statement to create a compute block. You define your new variable inside this block. This is the final report having the weight in kgs being displayed along with the patient number. As mentioned in the previous example, you can include programming logic within a compute block. In this example, you want to create a new character variable rate that has a value of fast, normal, or slow based on the heart rate. In this program, you include the variable you are computing in the column statement. The compute statement now includes the keyword character to tell SAS that rate is a character variable. The option length equals to 6 defines the storage length for this variable. Next, the logical statements to compute rate are sandwiched between the compute and end compute statements. Here you can see the output of this program, where we can see that the rate column is having the values of fast, normal, also slow, instead of any other values based on the heart rate, which is whether it is greater than 75 or greater than 55, and or it is missing. So besides creating simple column reports, PROC report can also create a tabular style report with each unique value of a variable forming a new column in your report. This is accomplished by using an across usage for your variable. In the shown example, each type of bicycle, which is hybrid, mountain, and road in the bicycle dataset, is used to create a separate column in the report. Beside defining model as an across variable, you need to tell the procedure what value you want to display for each row of the table. Notice the model, unit term in the column statement. This is an instruction to the PROC report to report the number of units within each category of the model. The listing here should help to clarify how it works. Here you can see that for each distinct three values of model, that is hybrid, mountain, and road, we have a separate three columns for the number of units along with the country column. When you begin and end the label text for an across variable with certain characters such as dash or underscore, SAS uses that character to extend the column label across all the columns created by the across variable. In this example, just replace the define statement for model having an across and added a underscore in the label. The resulting output will be shown as like this. Here you can see that for model variable, We have an extended small line which is over the all the three different types of model, which is hybrid, mountain and road bikes. You can use an across usage to create a report showing a summary statistics for each level of the across variable. Here in this example, you want to see the average white and red blood cell count for each combination of gender, blood type and age group in the blood dataset. You also want the age group variables to be displayed in separate columns of the report. As you can see, the column statement shows that the mean value of WBC and RBC should be displayed for each values of age group. You also need to define WBC and RBC with an, with an analysis usage with mean as the desired statistics. This is the output for this program. You can see here that for age group, the WBC and RBCs are having separate columns for old and young, which is the age group, along with the blood group and gender. Thanks for watching. Let me know in comments if you want me to cover any specific topic.